Hello, Shagrats! That's right, that's what I'm gonna call you. Shagrat. Little bro Shagrats. Make sure to talk amongst yourselves in the comments below, because we'll be mobilizing by the new year. God bless. But before the new year happens, I want to dive a little bit further into the lore of Willy Wonka.
You're really weird.
And what better way to do that than by playing the true hit classic, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, for the PS2. As a child, I remember so many advertisements and commercials that would come on for that Willy Wonka game that would completely interrupt my favorite shows. No matter if I flipped to Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, or Disney Channel, I was always met with the claymation 360p animation of cartoon Freddie Highmore.
I am a surgeon!
This game is clearly a make of the 2005 movie Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and surprisingly many of the actors reprise their roles. You got Grandpa Joe, who talks with a silly little voice, but it's so soothing in grandpa tone. And Mike TV, who actually talks a little bit more like a person who's watched every season of Rick and Morty, and is probably a lead moderator on the I Am Very Smart Reddit. No, Johnny Depp couldn't make it to the booth because he was busy reprising his role and working on Pirates of the Caribbean, The Legend of Jack Sparrow, where he reprised his role as Jack Sparrow.
You're dead. And you're dead. You're all dead. I'm not dead.
But just like the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie, the story starts off by letting the player know that you're terribly poor and have no extraordinary qualities.
This is the story of an ordinary little boy named Charlie Bucket. He was not faster, or stronger, or more clever than other children, and though his family was terribly poor, Charlie was the luckiest boy in the world.
And continues by Willy Wonka setting up his chocolate bar contest with the findings of the golden tickets by Augustus, Veruca, Violet, and Mike. And because you're so poor, you need money.
Beyond anything you could ever imagine. But I haven't any money for chocolate.
Nothing's impossible, Charlie. Nothing.
Nothing's impossible, then go get a job. As a matter of fact, all you old peeps laying in your bed of 4 in our living room, go get jobs instead of my mom and dad supporting all your goofy asses. What the fuck, Gramps? Where are your investments? Where's all your guys' money? That's a better question. Dumbass encouraged. Oh look, $10. So the first gameplay is you chasing after a $10 bill like you're a famished rat. You find yourself sledding on a trash can top trying to snatch the money while also dodging trash cans in your path. I wanted to see if you could hit all the trash cans and still get the money, and sure enough...
Nothing's impossible, Charlie.
After Charlie selfishly spends $1 of the $10 he found on himself, instead of his starving family of 7, he orders that scrumptious fudge banana delight. I actually don't know what he says right here, it's almost impossible to make out.
One Wonka Whipple Scrumptious Fudge Banana Delight, please.
And alas, he finds the golden ticket. Fast forward to the factory where you're met with a very androgynous Willy Wonka and his Oompa Loompa workers in the chocolate room. Immediately I found that this game plays similar to a Pikmin game. You find Oompa Loompas on the map, and by doing so, they follow and you can order them to work on whatever task you need done. Obviously this isn't better than Pikmin, but the game has great ideas and features that make up a solid game at face value. There's not just an Oompa Loompa that does everything. There's one for harvesting, welding, repairing, electrician, the list goes on. As well as different candy slots that Charlie is able to use that have different functions and powers, so right away,
Take a fat sip of that.
there's a good bit of depth to this game. Throughout your journeys, you must help each mismannered child out of a situation that they're in, or that they've caused, to essentially keep the factory operational. It's interesting playing this game again because I remember all of the times that I watched the first Willy Wonka with Gene Wilder and the multiple times that I watched the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Johnny Depp.
Let's move along.
I look at this story with such a different lens compared to how I did as a child. I think of how the Willy Wonka story is connected to the 7 deadly sins, where each child and character is labeled. Charlie being envy, as he just wants to be able to play with the other kids and live a normal life like everyone else, but is burdened with his family being poor and not having as many privileges as everyone else. Basically an unlucky spawn. Grandpa Joe is seen as this very passionate, eccentric old man who loved working at Willy Wonka's factory, even asking Wonka himself if he remembers him, which is why I think lust so accurately connects to him. Augustus Gloop, well, he's a gluttonous child who will do anything to throw some food in his mouth, even at the expense of his own life. Violet Beauregard shines with pride. She's a winner and basks in her accomplishments and trophies, and even the thought of being the first child in the world to try a new Wonka candy was too much to resist. Veruca Salt is a clear image of greed. The fact that she's in the factory is due to her getting everything she wants in life, along with her family being extremely rich, and leads to her demise when she's told she can't have something.
Kill, I gotta fucking kill.
My TV, I think, in a way, loosely represents sloth. Watching TV and playing video games all day is considered to be lazy, but I think their portrayal is really good in having Mike be an intelligent person. Having that quality can lead to a lack of motivation because things just come easy to him. And when finally he's met with something that he's never seen before, he assumes the function and becomes ignorant to its possibilities.
A retard figure. Die!
And lastly, Willy Wonka is seen as Wrath, not directly seeking revenge on the children that he invited into his factory, but more along the lines of spiting his father, who is known as a great dentist. His whole life revolves around candy and treats, something he was never allowed to have as a child, and gave him a lifetime of trauma. Meanwhile, as a child, I thought, oh, if you're a good boy, then you get reward. And to be honest, both are good explanations for the story. Overall, the game is a very clunky experience with puzzles and platforming that feel frustrating rather than fulfilling. Half the time, me and the camera in a grudge match, even finishing this candy vine puzzle took up a lot of my time, as the tubes where these needed to be plugged up to apply pressure to shoot Augustus's fat ass through the tube, they just didn't work or even suck up the vine ball. You have to hope the physics of the game is kind to you, as these aren't real-world physics. Dare I say, Willy Wonky physics.
Fuck that guy.
I already don't like puzzles, so I was doomed from the start, but I love platforming, and this was a disappointment. The sound design within the game, along with the music though, was very good, and I think overall, it hit the atmosphere I would look for within a Wonka game. There's never a time of silence because you're always met with these weird, quirky, and wacky array of sound effects. Core gameplay, like I said, was just frustrating. But the mechanics were a great idea. Seeing inspirations from Pikmin and even Super Monkey Ball was fantastic, and I never felt like it was a one-to-one pull, but twists on those concepts that make for a better experience. I think that this was fine-tuned and made to be a much longer runtime, as I finished the game in a little over 4 hours. Even just adding mini-games that you could play multiplayer on for local co-op, I think that would make for a much greater experience. Charging $50 for a game like this is pretty wild and a clear cash grab. Finally, we're pulled into the sky in the Great Glass Elevator, and that's it. That's the entire game. But what if I told you that this was only one of 3 available versions of the game? Due to a recessed memory in my brain, I decided to search Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory video game, and I find one 3D version, which we all just saw and I talked about, one still shifting camera-like, almost like a top-down view that replicates a point-and-click game, and another which appeared to be a 2D side-scrolling platform game. But wait a minute, let's look at this Charlie and the Chocolate Factory video game commercial.
To earn the Oompa Loompas' respect and win Wonka's amazing factory. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the video game, rated E for everyone.
Did you miss it? Let me enhance that for you. It clearly shows what's portrayed in this gameplay preview is available on all consoles, PC, and Game Boy Advanced. Something smells a little fishy. So I dig a little bit deeper into this and find that these 3 versions were all made by 3 separate developers, all being a coordinated release on July 15th, 2005, which was parallel to the US release of the movie Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The PC version is in fact a point-and-click game, and the Game Boy Advanced is a side-scrolling platformer. Both of these versions replicate levels within the main advertised product, but this is clear false advertising at its finest. And the fact I've never seen anyone talk about this is baffling, seeing how popular Willy Wonka is. But also, I can't imagine millions of people wanting to flock to play the Charlie and Chocolate Factory video game. This is most likely the reason why people don't remember a product like this, because it's scattered between so many mediums, and it's a very niche game. Well, 3 niche games, I guess. But if you've played one of these versions, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know. But wait, what if I told you that I found something else? Something interesting. Now keep up, because this is going to be going for a ride. I look closer at the cover of the game, and what do I see? Chocolate. And who likes chocolate more than anyone else? Augustus Gloop. And Augustus's father, Mr. Gloop, owns a butchery in Dusseldorf, Germany. Dusseldorf, the place most known for fashion and trade fairs. And who was the host of the Las Vegas Magic Trade Show this year? Martha Stewart. Stewart, as in Stewart's, like the popular Northeast gas station / convenience store where I recently got a large coffee and bacon, egg, and cheese for $7. When I type into Google and I abbreviate Stewart's, I type in STW. STW as in Save the World. Fortnite's original game mode was Fortnite Save the World. And who were one of those developers on that game mode? High Voltage Software. The same people that made the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory game, which means Willy Wonka is coming to Fortnite confirmed, and hopefully we'll have DLC characters of Timothy Chalamet and Freddie Highmore playing the autistic doctor.